Hello everyone. I hope you are safe and fine. I welcome you all in this video. In previous video, we talked about different topics of grammar. We also learned so many rules of grammar. Now tell me, what are the different times of the day? These are morning, afternoon, evening and night. In morning, we get fresh air, chirping of birds, dews on flowers and leaves. In afternoon, we get sunlight. In evening, the sunlight gets dim and night starts with darkness. Do you ever notice who follows you every time and everywhere? But it is disappear when there is no light? If you are unable to guess it, I will tell you. It is your shadow. Shadow is a reflection of your body which appears in the presence of sunlight or light. When there is no light, it disappears. Now, let's do an activity. Go out of your house and see the shadow of trees, plants, houses and different buildings. Now, observe your shadow. After observing the shadow, come back in your house. Now tell me, does your shadow stay with you? No. In your house, there is no shadow. This time, your shadow disappears because of no light. Students, you already know about who is a poet or composer. The person who writes a poem is called a poet. The poem My Shadow is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Now, let's start the poem My Shadow. By reciting poem, we know the proper pronunciation, fluency and intonation. So, let's start the poem. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me. And what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head. And I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. Let's recite together. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me. And what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head. And I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. In this poem, the poet said that he has a little shadow that follows him everywhere. It follows him inside and outside the house. The shadow is very useful, even more than the poet know about it. The shadow completely looks like the poet from the heels up to the head. The shadow is like a copy of poet. The poet told that the shadow jumped on the bed before the poet. अब आप पूछेंगे वो कैसे? Shadow jumps on the bed before the poet because of the position of light. जब कभी लाइट हमारे पीछे होती है तो बेड पे हमारी शैडो पहले दिख जाती है. It means whenever the poet goes near his bed, his shadow falls on the bed before him. आपको फॉलो करने वाला भी कोई है जो आपको हर जगह फॉलो करता है. वो कोई और नहीं, आपकी शैडो ही है. Now let's move to question and answers. The first question is, who follows the poet everywhere? A shadow, a boy, a girl. The correct answer is his shadow. The next question is, how does the shadow of the poet look like? Like an animal, like a boy, like the poet. The correct answer is like the poet. The next question is, where does the shadow jump before the poet? In the well, on the bed, in the house. आपको याद है ना? On the bed. Students, hopefully you understood the first part of the poem and the question answers. क्या शैडो का कुछ फनी मोमेंट भी होता है? या शैडो और क्या क्या करती है? ये जानने के लिए आपको अगले वीडियो का वेट करना पड़ेगा. Now, let's move to homework to know how much you understood the poem My Shadow. The first question is, where did the shadow follow the poet? The second question is, what do you think your shadow look like? This is all for today. Keep on watching and enjoying videos. Again we will meet with the next stanzas of the poem. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Take care.